back to the most professional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Zuckerberg-Burkle, here with my co-host today, Aaron. Go and say hi, Aaron.
Hi.
Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Maybe I'll make one of those one of these days. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So in this video, we'll be talking about the Buffalo Bills, who miraculously have saved their playoff chances in these past few weeks. We talked about it on an earlier video we had recorded, Aaron. You and I have a couple different opinions on their potential paths to the playoffs this year. Or at least we did. Maybe once you saw the Dolphins schedule, you changed your mind a little bit. I don't know. We'll find out here in a second. But personally, I think the Bills have a great shot at winning the division now. Out of nowhere, with this past success, this recent stretch of success they've had, the only team ahead of them in the AFC East is the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins' remaining schedule is the Dallas Cowboys, Baltimore Ravens, and then Buffalo Bills. Not a super easy stretch, obviously. You got probably the second or third best team in the NFC, and then you got the clear-cut best team in the AFC, and then you got the team that could sneak in and steal your playoff spot from you. While meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills' remaining schedule is the Chargers, who fired their head coach and their starting quarterback's out for the year. The Patriots, who are playing for the number one draft pick. And then the Miami Dolphins, in which case that game could determine who wins the AFC East. So, Aaron, do the Bills have a legitimate shot at winning the division?
Yeah, they do. Now that I've looked at it a little more closely, I think ultimately it's going to come down to that
last
head-to-head
game. Yep.
where I believe if Miami wins, then they win the division, correct?
So, Miami lost to the Bills the first time.
They would split head-to-head.
They would split head-to-head. The Dolphins have a one-game advantage, or two-game? Is it two-game advantage? They might be two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. If the Dolphins win that game, they probably win the division. Unless they lose out. Unless they lose both to the Cowboys and the Ravens. Which could happen.
If they lose to the Cowboys and the Ravens and then they beat the Bills, I'm pretty sure they still get in because they'll have a better... Where's it at?
Would they have a better conference record?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they would. You're right. Well, if they win out...
It would go to division. Would it go to division first? It'd go to division first, wouldn't it? And they'd still have one?
Yeah, it would go to division first. The Bills would be, at that case, 4-2. Yeah, because the Patriots. And then they'd both be 4-2. Oh, no, because the Dolphins only have one division. Yeah, they'd both be 4-2 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would go to similar opponents after that, which would be, I don't know.
Well, Miami would have it based on conference wins and division.
I think
if they beat Buffalo.
I think for divisional title,
if they beat Buffalo, they'd be what, 5-2.
So I think
whereas Buffalo would be.
I think for the divisional title, it goes division record and then similar opponents. I don't think it goes conference. I think that's only for wild card.
Mm.
Which, at that case, I don't know what their similar opponents are. So.
I don't care enough to look.
Yeah, that's a lot of research, but in a nutshell, yeah, it's probably going to come down to that Bills-Dolphins game at the end of the season, unless the Dolphins win their next two. That would be the only way, or the Bills lose one of their next two. That'd be the only way it does not come down to that game for the division. But if,
Which Buffalo, you better look out for New England. They're a sneaky good team.
yeah, so are the Chargers, I guess. Without Justin
Just thought I'd throw
Herbert
that in there after our
specifically.
last heated debate.
Oh, yeah, no, I could definitely see it coming down to that last game, though. Very likely could, especially if the Cowboys, who going into Monday night, we did not think was going to be playing for anything at that point in the season, now is playing for the division title. They would much rather host a playoffs game than visit the Buccaneers in the first round. So they'll be playing for something.
I mean, that's who gives a about the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but if you win the NFC East, then you kind of get a home playoff game to the NFC Championship. So,
Yeah, but oh, the Buccaneers.
and for the Cowboys, that's huge though. The Cowboys' road record is awful, so they'll be playing for something against the Dolphins in that game. The Ravens also will be playing for something in that game because they're fighting for the 1 seed. I'm sure they would love to have that. And then it comes down to that last game against Buffalo. So, meanwhile, the Chargers and Patriots are playing for the NFL's version of ping pong balls. So,
I think that Dolphins Ravens game could be a really good game.
I
could
think
see
so
the
too.
Dolphins winning that
Yeah.
game.
I don't think so. I don't see them winning either. I don't see them beating the
I think
Cowboys over the Ravens. To be honest.
The Dolphins offense is like a wild card. Like when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill that year where we had an absolutely terrible defense and scored 50 points and lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
I think it's like that year where that offense is just so explosive it could literally go off against anyone at any time.
They did put 34 up on the Jets, who their record's not good, but their defense is. They put 31 up on the...
34 and 30.
Do what?
34 and 30.
Oh,
They
they,
just
play,
scored.
they played
They
them
beat
twice
them
already?
30-0 last week.
Oh, shoot, you're right. I didn't see that one. They put 31 up on the Patriots, who you said is a really good defensive team.
Especially earlier on in the season.
Especially at that point in the season. And they put 24 up. I mean, 24 is okay. It's all right. 24 is all right against the Patriots. 70 against the Broncos obviously was insane, but clearly we've seen that more as an anomaly recently. The Broncos are not that bad. That was kind of an outlier game, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. These last 3 games, the NFC or the AFC East is going to be fun to watch. I think I mentioned this earlier. And I hate to say this. You know I hate to say this. You of all people know I hate to say this. It feels like the Bills' year.
Yeah, it must be really tough for you to say that, considering your favorite saying about the Bills is Josh Allen, and you love saying he rides that roller coaster, and I mean he does, but kind of like I said in the text in the group chat that this adversity has made them strong, whereas they've kind of been, top of the pack, some favorites at the beginning of the season these last couple of years. And not to say that they weren't this year, but there was some, outside questions about Stephon Diggs wanting to be there and, their defensive coordinator leaving. So some outside noise at the beginning of the season. Obviously, nobody kind of expected them to have the start that they had. And kind of struggle against some teams. losing to the Jets that first game, I think was a real shock to kind of everybody, especially after Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But really kind of are on that incline to refer back to the
The
roller coaster metaphor.
Yeah, I'm as big of a Josh Allen hater as you will see, you will find, you will meet. I just don't believe he is. I don't believe he will provide you sustainable success if you lean on him to carry your offense. However, that's not what the Bills are doing right now, or is it? They're actually running the ball for the first time in his career, which I think is the big reason the Bills are as successful as they are recently is because they're asking Josh Allen to do less, not more. With James Cook emergence the last few weeks, I think they'll continue to run the ball more and more. At least they should. You would hope they would, with as much success as they found with it recently. And that'll just make Josh Allen more effective. I never once said Josh Allen was bad. I said he was inconsistent. I still believe that. But if you limit his, opportunities to be inconsistent, then your team's more likely to win the games. Not saying Josh Allen's a game manager. I'm just saying that if you evenly distribute the run and pass, Josh Allen's less likely to throw 2-3 picks in a game, turn the ball over 2-3 times in a game. Because you got James Cook carrying it 15-20. You got Josh Allen throwing it 25-30 as opposed to 35-40. I think that's been the big difference these last few weeks, is they're finding that balance on offense. So, again, not saying Josh Allen is bad. He's just a little too inconsistent to count on, at least in this point in his career. It's something he can, he continue to develop. He can become that guy who can throw it 40 times a game and throw 0 picks. It's all a mentality thing with him at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'll continue to believe that until he proves to me otherwise. But for right now, the Bills are doing what they should do, and that's balance the run and pass on offense. So,
yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. I think he's the complete opposite of a game manager. He's got stellar arm talent. I think, kind of like you said, or maybe alluded to, he's so aggressive with the ball because he's got such a good arm that he's like, I can make every throw.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, he's gunslinger mentality. I can do anything, and then mix in the fact that maybe he feels like sometimes he's got to
prove something,
put the game on his shoulders and
chip on his
lead
shoulder.
the team himself. He's got to do it all. That leads to turnovers, and if his biggest problem is turnovers, and then you start running the ball and limiting his opportunities to turn the ball over, that's obviously a good thing if he can maintain that high level of play, where he is aggressive and does have, the ability to make every throw on the field, but he doesn't feel like he has to. Then that's a really good spot for the Bills to be in.
Yeah, I thought. Now, I'm not saying that him throwing for less than 100 yards every game is an example of sustainable success. That's not what we're saying by any means. But the fact that he was able to have a game like that and the Bills were still able to win convincingly, and honestly, as much as I hate on the guy, him walking up to that press conference and being like, man, I feel like the guy who didn't contribute on a group project and still got an A. That showed a lot to me. It showed that he was okay taking that backseat role, which is something I didn't think was possible with him. I thought he would be a guy that was like, I'm too good to, be second fiddle on this team, So for him to go up there and say that so, candidly, really impressed me. And I think that like we both said, balancing out that run and pass game is going to be the ultimate key to their success moving forward. Because if they're able to limit his mistakes on offense, the Bills are a really good team. You could say the same about the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff. The more they started getting Gibbs involved offensively, and the less that Jared Goff was able to turn the ball over, the better that team's gotten. So, yeah, we'll see what the Bills can do going forward. But in case you have anything else to add, that'll do it for this episode of Most Unprofessional Sports Channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here with my coach today, Aaron. Go and say bye, Aaron.
Bye.
All right, that'll do it. Deuces.